Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Today I want to compare $20 to an ounce of silver, which is actually interesting because it's contradicting to compare something that has intrinsic value with fiat currency. So we're going to do this though, and I'm going to try to, by the end of this video, hopefully detach your stigma or the main point that people view silver as from spot prices perspective to its actual metal value. So let's jump right into this video. So silver is actually an asset more than a commodity. Gold is more of a commodity. It's used more for jewelry and stuff like that, where silver is actually used in the technological world. Its main value comes from its performance in technology, meaning its dollar amount to spot price isn't really relevant as other assets are. Spot price is used more from a jewelry standpoint when it comes to other things because it's bought and sold and traded for that type of a good, where silver is used in the technological world for the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, which is very beneficial for several numbers of things in the everyday world that we actually need. The industrial uses need it, the medical world, and the technological world. So its value compared to fiat currency isn't as relevant as its real uses or how it performs in the technology itself. Now, silver's been used as money for thousands of years longer than the dollar. Silver's been used as money, as a form of money for 6,000 years. The dollar has not been used anywhere near as long as that, and the dollar almost always, in all cases, all instances, fails. In every type of society and economy, the dollar never works. A fiat-based or fiat-driven system never works in a society. It always fails because hyperinflation is built, causing the dollar to weaken and losing its purchasing power, pumping our economy, pumping our system full of debt. But anyways, that's a different story. That's just some of the reasons why we invest into silver. But I want to dive a little deeper into this subject. So, holding a $20 bill, or I'll tell you. So, hold a $20 bill in your hand, and then hold a 1 ounce coin or 1 ounce silver coin in the other hand, and you can easily tell which one is more valuable. $20 really can't get you that much in the world. Maybe a couple gallons of gas, maybe a one meal, whatever the case is, maybe a t-shirt. But silver, 1 ounce of silver actually goes a very long way in its industrial uses, medical uses, and technological uses. So silver is extremely undervalued, and that's putting silver up on the $20 spot price. It's actually cheaper than that. Silver's at a high point right now at $17. So when people are comparing silver's spot price to its real price or its real value, it really has no correlation other than what it's traded for. And that's just the price that it's traded for. That does not mean that silver's value is that amount. It's actually extremely undervalued, especially comparing it to gold, which gold's at $1,500 right now. So the gold to silver ratio is still extremely high comparing these two metals, which have very similar uses in the everyday world, comparing each other. So it's interesting that silver is so cheap, and that is also why it has so much potential as well, though. So the dollar is losing its purchasing power. So that $20 won't be able to buy as many things tomorrow than it does today. And that's really something to think about. When we're comparing our money to fiat currency, we're comparing it on a spectrum of a currency that's losing its value every single day. So what you're buying today with that $20, you will not be able to buy tomorrow. So actually, in 5, 10 years, if you're still comparing silver's fiat currency price to its value, it's losing its weight, no pun intended, because the dollar's weakening. But the ounce of silver that's still in that coin isn't going anywhere. That doesn't weaken. That value is always going to be used, always going to be beneficial. And actually, the more we advance in technology, the more uses we're going to be finding for these precious metals and for the silver in the everyday world. So I definitely think that people need to detach their focus or their values from fiat currency away from the dollar and more towards what it actually can do. And that's with any investment. Anytime you're going to invest in something, you have to look at what it can actually do. What is this investment actually doing, and what does its future potential look like? And silver is extremely undervalued, so the potential is definitely there and it's not going anywhere. Other assets also can play the same type of role, same factors. Gold, for instance, gold is used more for jewelry side of it. There is a lot of gold used in technology, but a lot of it's remelted too, and that's the reason why silver is apart from gold, because gold is remelted. It's scrapped a lot higher of a rate than silver is. A lot of silver is lost in technology, not to be recovered because it's not as profitable, and a lot of gold is used for the commodity side of it. So it is a different market, but they are the same. They're the same idea, but just a different market. And they also do have different numbers and go for different types of categories in the everyday world. So you have to compare them a little differently as well. Now, pegging the dollar to silver's value can be misleading for people looking from the outside into precious metals, because they're attaching everything to a fiat amount. The way they look at an asset or any type of value, whatever it is the investment is, they're looking at its worth from a fiat currency standpoint. So they're already off the bat going to be almost blindly misleaded into what its real value is. So if I say silver's worth $17 an ounce, they're thinking that that silver coin, that 1 ounce silver coin is only worth $17, not even understanding that the ounce of silver is extremely more beneficial or more valuable than that. So I think that's also why stacking silver in the world of precious metals, educating people about it is so beneficial, because not only are you stacking, you're preserving your wealth, you're investing into your future, but you're also learning the true value of the dollar. You're learning the underlying factors that bring something actual value, or something that can be measured in a term of tradable currency as well. So I think that's really important to learn. I think that's really important to educate and also understand. For people that do look at silver from its fiat currency based or fiat currency standpoint, saying, silver is $17 an ounce, it can be beneficial at times, especially if you're like a trader. Like for silver ETFs, like exchange traded funds, option market, futures contracts, stuff like that. Of course, you have to look at it from a fiat currency standpoint, because that's what you're trading it as. But for the people that are actually investing into the metal for the long term, the actual the silver stackers, the long haulers, those people don't really care about the everyday price. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. There's going to be sell-offs. There's going to be times that it fluctuates, but that's natural for any market. That's not something that, really is relevant to the day-to-day world in our eyes, because we're looking at it for the bigger picture. So I definitely think that, even if silver does jump up to $20, or if it jumps down to $5, it really doesn't bother me, because I'm not selling my silver for a very long time. I did make a video talking about why I'm not buying silver right now, and that's not because the spot price is too high. I got in around $23 back in 2013. So right now, $17 still is a relatively, cheap price in my opinion. Now, that varies from stacker to stacker, because everyone got in at different times. But overall, we should also understand that even if silver does reach $20, that's still extremely undervalued for what it really should be worth or could be worth. If you go to usdebtclock.org, it kind of shows some insights on, silver, gold, other things as well. I definitely recommend that. But the chart I showed in a video a couple days ago, where it showed how many millions of ounces of silver are used for jewelry, electronics, stuff like that. That was a really interesting chart, because it showed, in realistic statistics, how or where this silver is going, and at real amounts. And it was really interesting to see over the years. It was a chart from 2009 to 2018. So you got to see over the last 10 years, where silver is thriving at, and what it's really being used for. And actually, it'd be interesting to make a video comparing that to gold and other precious metals, like even platinum or palladium, because I am curious on how much more silver is used in, the technological world, especially since we're trying to look forwards and where it's going, where silver is going to be going in the next 10, 20 years. This is going to be a huge indicator on whether we need more of it or less of it, and also, trying to correlate that to supply versus demand surplus, and also where that's going to be headed as well, whether we need more of it, whether we can supply enough of it, or even if the demand is there as well, not only for the consumer use for individual stackers, but for big business people that need the silver in the technological assets that we're producing as well, to keep retail value low. But anyways, I thought that was just some interesting stuff to throw on the table. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. Just to recap a little bit, I definitely think that $20 is extremely undervalued for silver, but hopefully we can detach that stigma away from fiat currency, from its spot price, so we can see the real value that underlies, which is the metal content itself. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'm curious what you guys have to think about this. If you want to add anything in, go right ahead. I love hearing your guys' comments and all that stuff as well. So I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you did enjoy this video, if you thought it was educational, informational, or just entertaining, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I posted another video earlier today. Go check that out. I know you're going to dig it. Also, check out my other stuff as well. I post all different types of videos, all different types of content. So there's probably something that you're going to find interesting that you haven't already heard about. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Peace.